All right. So, 17th of May, Friday, 2024, 7:47 p.m. and I'm here just checking in, though I do have something to say today because I did have a rather fun time. And the reason I use rather is because it was a bit awkward for me as well, mostly because of my own embarrassment. So, to get to the point, I attended a Herbalife Herbalife event with my family, and it was actually fun. Um, for those who don't know, Herbalife is a brand. I'm actually not very sure about the specifics, but what they're doing here is basically they have partnered up with this yoga class. There's a yoga club here nearby where I drop my mom every morning when I go for a run. So they have partnered. I believe it's their own club. I'm not very sure about the arrangement, but like that yoga class wherever my mom goes, and my brother and my dad also has joined recently, but he doesn't go there. He just does it online through Zoom. So which my family is completely involved now, I guess. So they have partnered up. They have this whole yoga class with all the supplements and all the protein powder, calcium tablets, probiotics, and all this whole range of fitness products and supplements, along with the whole yoga class thing. And they arrange these different events and stuff where they get together. They do fashion shows, they have dance in the park, they'll take them to different events and venues and just have parties, have dance uh, events for the members and everything. So it's actually like, I did do some research on it initially because my mom was getting into, like, when my mom was initially getting into fitness, I believe it was last year. And so I was happy for her because she was getting into fitness, but at the same time I was a bit concerned because I did read up on like brands like this, which um, which, to put things more bluntly, rip people off a lot. And I did some research on Herbalife as well. So this is me, just an average person doing my like due diligence on the internet. So I'm no professional, and if my information is wrong, then my bad. Like, go get some professionals advice, I guess, if you are interested in this brand and brands like this. So like with my research, what I did was, this brand is similar to those Amway and those brands that are like doing those, what was the term, multi-level marketing. It's like those pyramid scheme brands, which are, they distribute the products through their members, and the member, if I am a member and I let some others join under me, then through them I get some commission and stuff like that. So this is, yeah, that's what I found shady about it, and I did my research, and it seems to be the case. Herbalife is one of those kind of brands, and their products, when I compare their protein powder with the one I take, Optimum Nutrition, and their Dymatize as well I've used. But Optimum Nutrition is basically here, at least what's available to me here in India, in Arunachal Pradesh, Itanagar, Arunachal Pradesh, India. What is available to me through ordering online and stuff is Optimum Nutrition is likely the most expensive protein powder brand. And even though it's the most expensive protein powder brand available here, the protein powder from Herbalife is almost 2.5 times more expensive, at least 2 times more expensive from what I checked, because they're what was the one that I think it was just 500 grams is already costing like 3,000. And Optimum Nutrition one, if I'm not wrong, like it's like 1 kg. I believe the 1 kg one costs like around 3,000. So it's all, at least double the more expensive. And so yeah, it is a ripoff. Most of their supplements are way too overpriced, and they're they're selling some supplements which are a bit, at least in my own research, I found a bit shady, and I was a bit skeptical about it. I'm scared to make matters more clear. I'm skeptical of even like the optimum nutrition protein powder we get here. So I'm a very suspicious person by nature. So maybe it might be my paranoia talking, but I did my research on Herbalife, and what I got, like to put it in short, was it's a very it's a those pyramid scheme, that kind of brand, that at least their marketing structure is very similar, and their products are double the price of their competing other brands. Very good quality, very premium brands available. So yeah, it is a ripoff. But the main, I did inform my parents about that as well when my mom was in only my mom initially joined, and I told her about that as well, and she's like, nah. She enjoys that place. So, and the reason I didn't I'm not that much against them anymore now is because, mostly because of just how well they've set up the community here. um, I don't know if it's the brand Herbalife or if it's just the club there, which my mom joined, but they organize events every weekend. Every week they'll organize some event. They'll take them to some, just like some fun fashion show, dance event, and then they also measure and keep track of the weight of the members of my, like of all the members. Every week around weekend they will measure it, and they even give award, like small, like prizes for the people who did well, with their weight and other stuff. And they keep track of also the food the people are having and all those stuff. And I get it, like there's a lot of marketing behind all that, keeping track of the food, because they do like make the members take a picture of the products they're using, and taking the picture of their Herbalife products and uploading it. So they're kind of making sure in a way that their products are being used, but at the same time, those products essentially, other than the over like inflated prices, they seem to be decent. At least they don't seem, the product itself doesn't seem shady other than the price. So like other leaving aside the price, they are doing actually pretty good, like as a community, especially for people like my mom and their generation, and people who are not into tracking their stuff, and doing their own research, know how to do online research and everything, like who are not very well informed, who don't listen to Joe Rogan and all those like wellness, those whole niche area, that whole thing. For their generation, especially my parents, who are very bad with internet, they don't know how to use stuff and do their own research. So for them, this they are doing a pretty good job. They're keeping track of their weight every weekend. They are encouraging them with incentives like prizes and stuff for those who maintain their weight and do well. They organize all these community events, and they have this whole big community of people who get together every morning for the workout and all that stuff. So the whole community thing, and today's event as well, which I did participate because my mom kept insisting on it, and so I did participate, and I did find it pretty good. Like the whole atmosphere, and what I felt was good about them, just from hearing from my mom and seeing all the pictures and social media stuff they share and everything. Yeah, it's pretty good. So on that level, I do respect what they are doing here. On the overpriced stuff, I think it's a ripoff still, and over the marketing strategy on all this pyramid scheme kind of thing, I'm honestly not very sure. I'm not professional, and I know very little about it. But from what I know, it's a ripoff. It looks shady as hell. But that aside, like for people like my parents who aren't exactly like they're financially doing well for themselves, and they can kind of afford to get ripped off slightly, like, so like I think for them it's worth it. I think the one thing I respect the most about the whole thing is the community. They just have this robust community they've set up around the whole fitness thing. They have this messaging groups and all this stuff, keeping track. I think keeping track and the incentive reward, that is something amazing. I do that for myself by myself, which isn't very effective, but it works for me, and I've kind of developed this discipline over 2 years now, 3 years almost. so it's fine for me. But for people who are just getting started into the fitness, I think it's amazing to have a group like that. If I had a group like that when I started, I feel it would have been a lot easier for me to get into the swing of things. So on that regard, I did enjoy the event. And I think what I enjoyed the most about it all was because I'm so used to doing everything by myself, like workout and everything. And so it was a very, like, very different experience to be able to, like, to just match, to do it with so many people around. Like, I believe there was almost 100, or I think more than 100 people, all gathered together, and we were all dancing. Like, there were instructors, the yoga instructors and stuff. It's like a big event they held there today, and they have, like, invited their, I guess, different branches from different districts of Arunachal and stuff, even from Assam. And so from different places, all their clubs, and they have invited, and it was like a one, like a gathered event. And so, like, there were a lot of people, and there were like 5 or 6 instructors on stage, and they were putting music, and they were just telling us to dance along. They were showing the moves we follow. So it was, like, yeah, a great experience for me, who has rarely done some stuff like that. And so it was nice for once to have, like, people around when you're doing your fitness workout and stuff. Although the workout was, like, too light for me, and like, I'm not bragging about that shit, but I, like, my workout level is obviously way more intense. But, like, it was difficult for me in the sense that it felt awkward for me to do the weird dance moves and stuff they were doing together with so many people around. And so that way I was still, like, going into an uncomfortable place. So that was good for me, because as you know, as a huge fan of David Goggins and all those people, like, try to do something uncomfortable every day and all that stuff. I'm a believer of that. So it was the very reason I went there was because of that, because I knew they had those all dancing and everything with whole groups of people. So I did go there, and I did get what I went there for. So it was a good experience, honestly. So I did have fun, although it was awkward for me, and I was pretty embarrassed, like, with a lot of the dance moves and stuff, like, in front of so many people. Everyone was being awkward, obviously. Like, there weren't many good dancers, average people, missing most of the moves, doing moves wrongly and stuff. So, but yeah, it was fun. So that's the bottom line. So this is just a recap of my Herbalife event with family. That will probably be the title, and also just my opinion on the whole Herbalife, that brand thing, and this kind of brands. I guess if they're doing the community well, I feel it's worth, like, being ripped off slightly. I do feel it's totally worth, like, if I was just starting out now, and, like, I knew something like that with like a robust community around it, I'd probably join it, even if it's, like, a bit shady, and the marketing strategies, are pretty shady, honestly. Let's not sugarcoat it. Are pretty shady, and the price are, like, overpriced. On the flip side, though, like, for members like my mom, who have actually bought a lot of stuff from them, like all their supplements, she is into it. For them, like, once you get into a certain level of member, because of your purchasing and everything, and people you make join, you do get, like, discounts, like heavy 40%, 50% discounts. So with that amount of discount, the price does get somewhat reasonable. At least it's not twice the price of their competing brands. It's about, like, 10% or 20% more expensive than the competing brands at that point. So that's pretty good. But to reach that point, you do have to spend a decent amount on them initially. So yeah, that's basically it. So yeah, but verdict is, I still think the brand is shady as hell, especially the prices, and some of the supplements I'm not very sure. Like, I did some research on them, and they seemed a bit, like, I don't know, there were some products that I'm like, it seems more like a gimmicky, like, supplement than anything else. I don't think they are selling some harmful stuff, but I feel those like the whole product itself is like it's not very well researched. It's not like creatine, but it's some like, you know, some like supplements that are, yeah, they are known by some a few study, maybe one study or two that says it works, but like it doesn't have enough research on it to properly convince, you know, to be completely convinced of its actual effectiveness. So there are like some supplements they are selling that are like that, in that category, gray zone, not exactly outright harmful, but a bit of a gray zone with their effectiveness. So I feel skeptical about that. I'm shady about their marketing structure, and their prices are definitely overpriced. But that, all that aside, the community is definitely worth it. I do give them that. So that's why I'm not very much against my parents and stuff, because my mom especially, she loves whole communities and stuff. Whatever thing in life she does, she's always into the whole community, and that fuels her, and she fuels a community as well. She's very sociable that way, and seeing her like that with fitness and all, it warms my heart, obviously, and I'm proud of her. And my dad and my brother also got into it because of her, and so it's great. At least they're into fitness, although the supplements I still feel are a rip off, but the community is worth it, and it's getting them into fitness. So, you know, who am I to complain, right? So that's pretty much it. A bit long video, but I wanted to get my thoughts out on this brand as a whole, and brands like them as a whole, I guess, with great community, and obviously because of great marketing strategies. Yeah. But for someone who wants to try out these brands, see if it's worth it. Like, see if wherever you are, if the community is well knit, if it's a very strong community with lots of members, then it might be worth it. But I would be on the cautious side with the amount of supplements I get. Maybe get the like a fundamental supplements like protein and probably probiotics, or stuff that legit works. We know like every brand that sells it on the market sells like like that supplement is pretty well tested and well researched. You know, it works. We know it. So that kind of products, maybe get those and be a part of the community, but maybe not overspend. Like, but if the community is massive and it's fun, you have met, and like you're having a good time after going there for at least 2-3 months, then maybe it's your money. So your if it's worth it for you to be get ripped off slightly, then by all means, I guess. So that's pretty much it. Yeah, it's a long video. 74.2. Actually today my weight is actually getting under control, but right now I just had like almost half a kilo of pork with rice. So it was heavy dinner. We just came back from that event. My parents were in a good mood, and it's been such a long time since I had like a fun you know, outing with my whole family, and this was actually like a fitness event. So that was actually fun, dancing around with my parents. It's been like what, I think it's been more than a decade the last time I danced around with my parents for anything other than obviously events in the church, but it's a completely different thing, I feel. So yeah, that was awesome. So for the Herbalife brand, respect, your community is solid, but I'm still a bit skeptical about your products, and your prices are definitely overpriced. So that's it. Good night. See you guys tomorrow. All right.